Oh, snap. What's going on out there, YouTube?
Yo, what's up, everyone?
This is SEL0320
Show.
We are back for a brand new TV review of Gotham.
Correct.
And I know last week we were kind of left on our edge because last thing we saw was Mooney. She was on the ship. It seemed like she was in a good place, and then the ship seemed like it was going under siege. And then she's just going square up against somebody that you don't expect what's going to happen next, you know. And then I think, what was left off last week also? Oh, Penguin made it out alive from the Don that was supposed to be killing him. He almost got crushed underneath the car and everything, but he made it out alive. And now we get to see full circle what's kind of going on with everybody. And I think Bruce is in a bad state right now too, emotionally, because he's hurt by what happened with Selena. So the name of this episode is The Scarecrow?
Yeah.
I think so. I'm gonna read y'all the synopsis for it, if I can find it. Oh, this takes a while. There it is. So The Scarecrow. Synopsis reads, Gordon and Bullock set out to stop Gerald Crane, a biology teacher who has been harvesting the glands of his murder victims. Meanwhile, after finding herself in an unusual setting, Mooney continues plotting to gain power, and Falcone attempts to change Maroni's plan for Penguin. Then Bruce takes a treacherous hike. So, what did you think about this episode, Joe? First, before we even go into the details of it.
Well, I thought about it.
Because I'm going to give my thoughts too. You guys want to see.
I thought it was pretty good. As far as I thought that initially last week we were talking about like how this episode kind of like talking about like how Scarecrow's like MO is like fear and things like that, and how that would set the stage for Bruce to actually kind of discover, maybe let's say the Batcave, or even expose like his phobia of like bats. That didn't pan out how we thought initially was gonna happen. That still hasn't been discovered yet on the show. So
that's not to mean it won't be. It's just
not yet.
I think that they're leaving cues for stuff to come.
Right.
And they're keeping you guessing everything. I think that's what makes the show really good, though. Because if they gave us everything this whole first season, then that would be a buster.
Right.
You know? But did you generally like it, I guess?
Yeah, I generally liked it. I liked it.
Yeah.
I generally liked it.
I mean, I really liked it as well. And before we even segue into why we liked it and what thought process we had on it, one of the things I liked about this episode more than anything, it established a villain from point A to point B. From the complete origin story to the beginning. And the title, that self-fulfills that. Like, how they created the Scarecrow and the true origin story that I had never really kind of seen come to fruition was really well done. And to be honest with you, he was one of the most grounded villains that I've seen the origin story besides Selena. Like, I really like how they did the origin story for this. And I'll go into the details why I liked it and the whole details about Mr. Crane and what his involvement is with his son. But the episode starts off with Mooney. And you find her in a place, and we missed a small part of the beginning of it, but we find her in a place where she is basically in captivity because people are getting like beaten up, slaughtered, and I don't know where she is, quite honestly. And it's such a dangerous place because they have one guy there that kind of runs everything, and she's just looking up and sizing up everything, and you get to see her revel in having nothing. Like, normally she's like on top of the world. She's got Butch, she's got the power. She didn't have any power or anything coming in there. And by the episode, you're going to see her running the joint, essentially. Based on how she carries herself as a character, you're going to see how she can skeeve her way through and just like take out anybody. It's really interesting dynamic, and it's really good acting on her part because you look at her and her frame as a female, and even like just being in this situation, anybody would freak out from it, and she just revels in it. It's really uncanny. It's really good acting, and I guess really good pacing in how they did it, transition between the scenes, because they go from that to talking about Oswald and Falcone, because Falcone is talking to Oswald about the club and stuff like that, and before, like, Oswald's all gung-ho about having the club and everything, and he's like, look, I need you to protect my life, you know? But this is the other thing I liked about this episode, is that Falcone, he stepped it up. Like, you get to see, like, the dark sides of him. Like, I think that everything that happened with Liza, it unleashed his older self, and everything that encompasses how dangerous he truly is. And it's really interesting storytelling, but it's really awesome to actually watch as well. What did you think about some of the other stuff, I guess, what was going on?
One of the big things that's like you notice in this episode is what is it? Falcone was like pretty much you get his real opinion of Penguin, or yeah, what he says to Maroni is like really they both come to agreement of like Penguin's place in this whole crime web. Based off of that, you can tell like they both of them really don't respect him at all. So they're keeping him around, and it's like it's really interesting to see like now that Penguin's like thrown in this like dynamic of where like the guy he was working for partner with is like he doesn't actually really respect him, and it's like it's like okay, so Penguin kind of has to pretty much look after his own right now in a unique way, and if you watch the episode you'll see what I mean, but it's definitely interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the thing, like, Penguin is not going to come to power in this first season. It's not going to happen. You understand what I'm saying? Like, he is a crime boss later on, so they can't sit there and have him completely in power, but watching him, like, come up against these guys that, like, have been destroying the game, like, forever, like, and him just being there present, like, it speaks volumes about him, because he's looking at them, and everybody that kind of mistreats him or talks to him a certain kind of way, only one that he really, in my opinion, respects, and there's an interaction in this episode between him and Gordon. Like, he, for whatever reason, he respects and values Gordon's opinion about everything. And the problem is he's dirt. Like, he's so evil and dirty that Gordon is such a straight arrow, he can't find himself involved with this guy, you know? But Penguin ultimately feels like he really needs him and respects him, and it's just really strange that I don't think he'll ever cross Gordon unless it takes precedence over something that he needs. But everybody else, I feel like he's plotting in his head like, okay, yeah, I got you later on. Oh, I heard what you're saying about this. I see what you're doing. And it's really thought-provoking what he's going to end up becoming. Because if he's this way now, just in the beginnings of his, I guess, ascension into being a crime boss, like, imagine how he's going to be later on. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's really good. I think he didn't have a big role in this one, but I think it's really more so like plotting what's going to happen ahead. But I mean, the dynamics between Gordon and Bullock is always really good banter. It's really fun. Especially with now, like, with Lee Tompkins is now working with him, and I mean, he put himself in that situation. The only thing I don't like is that Gordon, he's being too much of a straight arrow, man. Like, I don't like the fact that he's like freaking out about everything, and like he's looking at her and comparing her to Barbara, because I think if Barbara was there, he would find her as a distraction, and she would be doing this and that and the other, you know. But that's not how Leslie is, you know? And I think the more he continues to push and push and push, he's going to just push her away. And Bullock kind of made a statement like, look, this never works. Like, you need to get her out of here and just enjoy your relationship, you know? But I think that's going to be a problem later on. Oh, there are two different Easter eggs in this one. One, there's a major Easter egg with the Scarecrow. Which you'll see once you look at the episode. If you look at it on Hulu or Fox.com, definitely you're gonna see it. Another one is they're gonna be going to the circus very soon, and I think that's gonna play a role later on, if you understand what I mean by the circus. And then lastly, if you look at the preview after you look at this episode, they're gonna introduce another villain that I cannot believe they're even gonna go there with this. I don't know how factual it is, but just how well they did the origin story for Scarecrow and taking 2 episodes to really develop it the right kind of way. I can imagine it's gonna be pretty awesome, pretty epic. Oh, Edward Nygma and Oswald Cobblepot meet for the first time.
True.
And it's interesting to watch because Edward, it's not only that he doesn't respect him, it's like it was like almost a challenge kind of thing. Like the way they interacted, I think by the end of it, like Penguin was like, I see what you're doing.
It was so weird.
But you need to get a step in. And it was like, you could tell like Penguin, like he's a dangerous dude. But Edward is a psychological sociopath, I think, in the beginning. He's gonna become that. So it's like looking at these 2 guys bump heads is just really interesting to watch. Like cinematically it's just awesome to watch, but then just from how their characters interact, it was really strange. I think that's one of my favorite moments actually this episode.
Yeah.
What did you think about it?
I thought it was weird, bro. Like, I didn't know if they were like sizing each other up or what.
I thought they might have known each other just because how they were.
I kind of got the vibe too, man. I was like, because I was watching, I was like, I don't know if Nygma was like fully comprehending the situation. I don't know if he thought it was like a game. You know what I'm saying? And then on the other hand, you have Penguin, just like, who is this guy? Get out of my face. You don't know who I am.
Yeah.
I think Nibble was like, yo, this is just a game. Like, man, you nothing. It was weird. Like, I don't know what it was. It was just like, this is interesting.
So I feel like they're gonna revisit that at some point.
Yeah, they have to.
And I think the knowledge that Edward Nygma has, it honestly can be used in such a deadly way because he knows every single villain that's kind of come up. He's known exactly how and what way they've done their craft, and that's scary. Like every single crime scene, everything that's happened, like he's known, even the technological side of it. And so somebody having that much knowledge, if they would turn to the dark side, like how are you gonna stop somebody like that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna play a role a little bit later on. But it was just really interesting to watch this early on. And another thing, I really like the visual effects for this one. Like, there was a shot when, at the beginning with her and him, where they were walking outside of Gotham. And you could tell it was a really New York kind of vibe and it was snow on the ground. I just really liked how they did some of the visual effects for this one. Especially with, when Dr. Crane, which he has an anticlimactic end in a sense, but when they show like a fear toxin kind of thing that's happening, the visual effects for that, they were done really well, and they haven't added an element to certain things like that that are supernatural, and it was really well done in my opinion. So in my opinion, I give this episode 8.5 out of 10. I actually really enjoyed it. Yeah, and I'm more anticipated now for the next episode. But yeah, what about you?
Yeah, I'd give it 8.5. I really liked it. Yeah, good about the same.
Yeah. But yeah, we got a little bit more coming a little bit later on because we found an interesting thing out and about. And y'all saw my tribute to Monty. There was 2 things that I found that I couldn't find anywhere that I'm going to probably talk about very soon. And we're going to do a review on it, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit later on. But look forward to that. It's coming soon. But anyway, hopefully y'all enjoyed this review. Please leave your comments below if you liked the episode as well. And anything more y'all want us to talk about, please let us know. I thank y'all for everybody that commented on the Arrow and the Flash videos that saying y'all wanted us to do more spoiler reviews. We will try to do that. We'll try to accommodate that as best we can. I didn't know if y'all wanted us to do the same thing with Gotham. I hope not, because that might be too much. But definitely we're going to try to do some Flash and Arrow spoiler reviews for y'all. Anyway, this is SCL0220 signing out. Y'all have a good night, good evening, good blessed day. Woo, woo, woo.